Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium, a spirit navigator, no less. And today you've tuned into a very special video. Perhaps you just clicked on it because it said something about spirit guides. Yes, we're going to be talking about spirit guides today, but I'm celebrating my 100th video in this series. This is a series that's on YouTube, that's in my playlist called WOW, W-O-W, and it's for Wisdom on Wednesdays. Okay, today we're going to be talking about spirit guides because let's face it, this is why I'm here. This is how I got here. Is I started listening and talking to my spirit guides. And I would say that pretty much everybody wants to talk to their spirit guides. And I'm about to give you the down low on how to do this. And if you can do it, right? So here's the thing. First of all, we're going to start off by saying everybody has spirit guides. I don't care who you are. I don't care. Even mass murderers have spirit guides. They're probably dejected and pissed off, but they have spirit guides. Okay. We all have them. We all have a spirit guide team. It does not matter who you are or how old you are or anything. It doesn't matter. You were assigned one at birth. Also, something else I should mention is that I'm channeling this. It's about 60% my spirit guides and 40% Susan. It's a spicy combination. I hope you like spicy. So here's the bottom line. Now, of course, I'm not a guru. 40% of me is really a very fallible human. Okay, take everything I say and try it on for size. If it works for you, maybe hang on to it, but never give away your power. Don't give your power away to me or anybody else. Always remain, a healthy skeptic. Okay, so now here's the thing. Here's how I understand it in my life. And this is how I understand it with thousands of people that I've worked with. Listen, you guys, your spirit guides were entities, energies that you created a contract with before you came down here in this baby body, in this planet, and on this incarnation. You had a little meeting and you met with your soul group. That would be other people that you're going to incarnate with, maybe your parents, your siblings, lovers, husbands, wives, kids, neighbors, people that will be significant in your life. Your soul group is people that are helping you learn the things your soul wanted to learn, but also you're teaching them the things they wanted to learn, hence contract. Okay, now the other group that you had a nice little meeting with is your spirit guides. The way I understand it, your spirit guides have incarnated on earth before. Well, it helps to be a human to understand human, right? Even if they incarnated 100 years ago or 200 years ago or 50 years ago, it doesn't matter. They understand what it's like to be a human. They understand the gravity. What the guides are saying is they understand how hard it is to do everything here, right? When you're on the other side, it's just easy. It's everything is telepathy. Everything is so easy once you're out of the human body and you're out of this physical plane of existence. So having a guide that understands that being on earth is not the easiest thing and that it's can be hard to get things done is helpful. Okay, so your spirit guide has incarnated before on earth. Okay, number two, your spirit guide, this is going to be a shocker for you guys, but your spirit guide doesn't want to talk to you. And I know people are always like, Susan, what are you talking about? Because you talk to your spirit guides all the time. Right. This is not a typical situation, but I will explain why they don't want to talk to you. Okay. Let's give you a metaphor. If you watch me, you know they love metaphors because it helps explain principles to humans. The metaphor is your house has an intruder in it. Your apartment has an intruder in it. They came in through the window. They're currently in a room or a closet that's never used. Okay. Now, you and one other person are in this abode. Again, spirit guides. And you need to tell the person there's an intruder in the house without them giving it away. So you say, there's an intruder in the house. And they say, what? I can't hear you. What? Why are you talking so low? And you're like, shut up. Shut up. There's an intruder in the house. And they're like, what is wrong with you? You're acting so weird. Okay. Meanwhile, the intruder busts in and you're both, in trouble. Okay, now how does that make sense? Well, your spirit guide doesn't want to argue with you about your soul contract because it's not up for discussion. You already signed it. And in the fine print that you failed to read, it says, not up for discussion, but it also says, I give away my free will. Oh, that's the biggie. That's the one you really should have read before you clicked the box and signed, but you didn't. Or maybe you did and you had the highest hopes for your little human self. But here we are, aren't we? So, what does that mean, Susan? Well, it means that humans have free will to a degree that is really stupid because stupid humans. And you're like, why would they do that? Free will? Think about all the dumb things people have done. Think about the dumb things you've done. Why did you do them? Because you could. Okay. Humans have free will. We can make good decisions. We can make amazing decisions. And then we can make really horrendous ones. Sometimes ones that affect other people, even, right? But there's a few areas where we don't have free will. One would be, well, you chose your parents. Even if you left home and never talked to them again, they're still your biological parents. Even if you're adopted, you still have biological parents somewhere. Even if you adopted new parents on your own because you like them, those parents are ones you chose through your free will. So there are some things that don't have free will. Whoever birthed you, you chose that on the other side. You didn't choose that in this lifetime. Your numerology. Nope, you also signed some kind of contract on the other side. Astrology. All those things are what you came into this life preloaded with. Your game came preloaded with these settings. Okay? Now, again, you have a lot of free will. Maybe 98% is free will. But one of the preloaded settings that you downloaded before you jumped into your baby body was your spirit guides and your soul contract. You've given these, I wanted to cuss right then, but I didn't. I'm so happy. You've given these ascended beings who have nothing but your soul contract in their heart. And did you hear me say they don't have what you would consider your best interest. They don't have what you would consider your joy and love. No, they have your soul contract in their heart. And you've given away your free will. Therefore, they can step into your life, do things to further your soul contract. So go back to the case where you're in the house and your friend is trying to tell you to be quiet. Instead, your spirit guides are going to um, maybe create a situation where you want to leave the house, right? Maybe what happens is your spirit guides have the neighbors set off a bunch of fireworks, and you're like, what the heck is going on? And you go outside, right? Maybe your spirit guides cause someone to run into the light pole and the lights to flicker and a big bang, and you think, I got to see what happened, and you go outside. Maybe the cat's on the front porch meowing to be let in, and you go outside. And when you go outside, you see the broken window. Or you follow the cat around the corner, or you follow the dog around the corner, or you just have a nudge. You're just like, I don't know why. I just the cat was meowing and I went outside. And then when I was outside, even though I was barefoot and it was 20 degrees outside, this is guidance. This is how guidance shows up. I decided to go around the side of the house and I still don't know why I did it, but I'm glad I did because I saw that the window was broken. And then I went, gingerly walking barefoot 20 degrees out to the street and I called 911. That's guidance. That's your spirit guides guiding you. Okay. Now, that's how guidance happens in your life when things happen and you're like, I don't know why I did it. I don't know. I can't explain it. That's guidance. Now, I'm about to tell you something that's a little bit upsetting. And that is your spirit guides only care about your soul contract. Okay. So, if your soul contract is such that it doesn't matter if you marry a complete loser, then you're going to marry a complete loser because they're looking at the contract. They're like, no, Bob, no, no, it's not in the contract. Let her do it. Let her rip. This should be interesting, right? They don't care. They do not care about anything but your soul contract. Guess what? The reason I talk to my spirit guides all the time is because I'm doing my soul contract, because I'm on my soul contract. And I argue with them. And when you're arguing with them, you're not doing the thing. You're still in the house with the intruder. It's not helpful. So they're going to do something to coerce you, to lead you, or to push you. They have no qualms about pushing you, believe me. Okay. So your spirit guides are really about your soul contract, and that's it. Now, let me tell you how you can get guidance so that you don't date the loser or take the job that actually that boss who was so wonderful turns out to be a narcissist. Okay. So how you do that is not through your, what are they saying? I don't, the word is when you, they can't give me the word. When you are given something, like in the army, they would, um, I don't know what the word is. They want to say prescribed, but that's not the word. Anyway, your spirit guides, this is a done deal. This is a done deal before you got here. They have their mission. They only care about their mission. Now, what's interesting is that if you go back and you look at times in your life where you had guidance, when you knew better than to go on that second date, and then that person turned out to be boiling bunnies, crazy, you know what I mean? Or you didn't take that job even though a friend of yours worked there, and then a month later your friend is like, thank God you didn't take this job. I didn't know this about that boss. That boss is terrible, right? You're like, gosh, it's a good thing I didn't do it. We never go back and think, why didn't I do it? Why didn't I do that thing? That's your soul path. You can go back in your life and actually identify areas where you were guided, and that will give you clues as to what your soul path is, because you weren't supposed to join that group, or you were supposed to join that group, or you weren't supposed to go get that degree, but you were supposed to get this degree. Okay. So, what you can do to help your spirit guides is you can be more guidable. This is something that, of course, I have problems with because your soul path is typically something that you don't feel worthy of, or you don't feel that it's you. It's like, this isn't me. I've told you guys a million times, I'm not a teacher. I spent 22 years behind a camera, never in front of a camera. You can't even find pictures of me. Now you can find thousands of hours of video of me. That's it in a nutshell. I didn't want to do this. I did not want to do this. More often than not, we don't want to do our soul path. So let me break it down even more. Let's say your soul path is to be a doctor, and you become a doctor. And you're like, well, Susan, I know this is my soul path and I worked really hard and I did it. Okay, your soul path was to be a doctor, but perhaps let's get our microscope out, because you're following the 4-lane highway of your soul path, but then it becomes a 1 lane, right? That's where we also have trouble. It's like, I know that I'm doing the right thing, but now they want me to do something very narrow within that bigger thing. So perhaps you were supposed to be a doctor, but now you're finding that you're supposed to be a boss doctor. Well, you're like, no, I'm not a boss. I'm a doctor. I don't want to be in charge of nobody, nothing. Perhaps your soul path is to be a boss doctor. So you understand what I'm saying here, right? I hope. So you can be more guidable. Pay attention to just be, what they're saying is just be open. Please don't think in black and white. I can't, I won't, it'll never happen. By the way, whenever I've said to the universe, I will never, I will never date again, I will never trust again, I will fill in the blank, they make a point of showing me just how silly never is, you know what I mean? So don't do that. Black and white thinking is not going to help you be guidable. Being flexible is going to help you be guidable to your soul path. So when you get signs, people come to you and they say, "Oh, you should really be a dental hygienist because you take such good care of your teeth." And you're like, "What? What is what does that have to do with being a dental hygiene? What?" And you're like, "Crazy people." And then 3 months later, somebody says, "Have you ever thought about going to dental school?" And you're like, "What?" So, what is it in your life that people have said to you more than once that you can't understand? People told me, "Susan, you're such a great teacher." It was so buried in my I don't want to do this that I didn't even hear people say it. I literally you if you said that, I never even heard you say it. I didn't want to hear it. I was already closed. I was not being open. I was closed. Okay. The other thing is, and I think this is a really good tip, is ask people around you. Now, this would not be narcissists. These would be people who actually show up for you in your life, not the people you want to show up in your life. Please hear me when I say you want this person to show up in your life, and they never do. Let's be honest. That's not the person to ask. The person to ask is the person who calls you out of the blue and says, "How are you doing?" Or checks on you after you've had a rough spell or an illness, or calls you up on your birthday. Those are the people you basically ignore, right? We ignore those people because we really only care about that person over there who won't talk to us, or who only talks to us when we call them, or we do all these things to get their attention and they do nothing for us, right? Isn't that the truth? Stop chasing those people. They're not your people. Okay. You're trying to prove that you're worthy. You're trying to prove that you're lovable by getting that person who's not going to love you for whatever reason their stupid reason is. You're putting all your self-worth in them. Until you get their approval and love, you are nothing. Okay. Don't ask them. Ask the people who are nice to you. Okay? Let's practice it. So, you're going to go to that person that's nice to you, or even a coworker that doesn't know you that well, because this is an experiment. You're just doing a little experiment. And you're going to say, "What do you think I'm really good at?" And they're going to tell you things that are going to blow your mind because we don't know what we're good at. They have a complete, neutral, unbiased view of us. And those are the people who give us guidance. Okay? So trust that information when you're looking for your soul path, because your spirit guides are communicating to you. They're sending you messages. They just don't want you to talk to them because remember the house situation. You're over there telling them to speak louder. Meanwhile, they just want you to do the thing. They don't want to talk to you. They want you to do the thing. If you're talking, you're not doing the thing. You're questioning. That's not going to help anybody. It's wasting time. They don't want to talk to you. They just want to nudge you, push you, send you messages. If you want to know what your soul path is, pay attention to all the signs. Get a book, get out your laptop, your tablet, your phone. Write down every single thing that happens. I saw a repeating number. I heard this song on the radio, made me think about something. I'm not sure what it means. You're not getting the answers. You're getting the pieces to the puzzle. And as the puzzle gets filled, you get the answers. One piece is not an answer. Okay. So they're sending you the information. You're just not receiving it and you're not trusting it. If you will write this stuff down in a book or however you do it, and if you'll do it for 30 days, I've given this challenge to tens of thousands of people. No one has ever come back and said, "Susan, it doesn't work." Not one of you have ever come back and said it doesn't work, because it does work and it will scare the britches right off of you because you're like, "Holy crap, they really are guiding me and they want me to do this thing and I don't want to do it." Like me with public speaking, right? Okay. Now, that's your spirit guides. They want to talk to you. They don't want you to talk to them. Now, there's a whole legion of other guides that are unemployed. They're unemployed. They look so sad. These are angels and guides that didn't make the big leagues. They didn't be assigned a human to drive them crazy. They're just waiting for to help you. Seriously. You can now, if you want to talk to a spirit guide and you want to have help from a spirit guide, you can do it. It's so easy. It's all intention. First of all, it's not that easy. Anyway, all right. So they just show me all kinds of things and I'm like, all right, but I don't have 6 days to tell them all the things that could happen. So you guys see, this is what I'm saying. Like they interrupt me and then they add more things to it and how am I supposed to do that? Right? Okay. Okay. It is easy in the sense that, and they're saying I'm being overly simplistic. Okay, I'm going to be overly simplistic and then I'll get deeper. Overly simplistic is this. Your intention is, I need help. I need help with, and I've done all these things and it works. I need help with my taxes. I hate my taxes. I don't understand numbers. Please give me a spirit guide that understands taxes, numbers, and help me. I need help with hiring a contractor to fix this house or this project. I need help finding a good car mechanic. I need help at work. Like people done lost their minds. I need help being calm, or I need help understanding how to navigate this situation. So guess what? Spirit guides come in like specialties, right? So you can dial up a special spirit guide to help you with a family member or to help you with your physical fitness. This is something that's been on display in all of my videos, right? I asked for help with nutrition. And then those little buggers showed up and started telling me that I was eating cheese 5 times a day. Did I know I was eating cheese 5 times a day? No, I didn't know that. I thought it was normal to eat cheese 5 times a day. I come from a cheese loving family. I don't even understand what the problem is with that. But anyway, apparently they thought that it was, they're telling me right now, processed cheese. Like, I don't live in Switzerland. I don't live in Wisconsin, right? I live in Texas. I have to get the cheese I can get. And a lot of it is processed. It's not even real cheese. So they're like, you're eating petrochemical oil or something like that. This is what I'm saying. Like, do you really want to talk to your spirit guides? Anyway, these are the ones I hired for free, for nothing. so so they started telling me, and so they, but how that worked for me was when I hired these nutritional spirit guides is I would be in the store and I would be getting ready to grab something, and I would get the impression, I would just have an impression that this is probably not the best thing for me and to choose something else. Now, this has probably happened to you. I'm sure it has 1,000 times when you've said, I really should probably not eat this. I really should probably go get a salad. Haven't you said that to yourself? I really shouldn't buy this pack of Oreos. I'm probably going to eat the whole thing. Oh, well, put it in the cart. Is that you or is that your spirit guides? If your soul path is going to be impacted by you eating a bag of Oreos, because then you're going to get, diabetes, or something's going to happen to your health, and then that is going to mess up your soul path. You better believe they'll get in your head and tell you. If your soul path has nothing to do with your health, then they're not going to care, because your spirit guides are mission focused. You add additional guidance for whatever you want help with. So you add nutritional spirit guides, you add fitness spirit guides, you add spirit guides to help you study, whatever it is. If you're working with spirit guides, you're open. You're open to the nudges. It's not like somebody in your head is going to say, Susan, put down the cheese, put down the cheese. They're not going to do that. They're just you're going to have an awareness, or you may hear your own thoughts, or you may have a feeling. Some of us like go to pick up something and we're like, ooh, that's got bad energy. It might be like that. It can happen in any way because they're not limited. like us. They can like I was even in a grocery aisle one time. This woman I didn't even know walked up to me and said, "You know, you know there's a lot of carcinogens in that." And I was like, "Jesus, lady, buzzkill, know how to ruin a good time." But that's my spirit guides. That's my spirit guides going, "Well, you know what, Susan, you really got to live another 10 years. We got some things to do, so please don't make it hard on us," right? So your spirit guides can show up in another person that gives you guidance. Again, those people that said, "You should be a dental hygienist." And you're like, "What?" Maybe you're an auto mechanic and they say that. Maybe you're a stay-at-home mom or dad, or maybe you're going to school for accounting and somebody says that and you're like, "That's random, weird." It's not random. There is random things are guidance. Random things are guidance. Get that into your brain. Left field is guidance. Okay. So, what was not simplistic about this is that uh, they would, okay, right. So, what is not simplistic is that as the veil between the worlds thins, okay, so we live on planet Earth, right? We've got some laws here. One of the laws is, an alien really can't jump into your living room, although they do. They break the law, but they're not supposed to. Grandma, who's been dead for 30 years, cannot be sitting fully clothed and in a physical form on your couch. These are universal laws. They're universal laws. Humans have free will. No one is supposed to interrupt our free will. Of course, people break the laws, entities break the laws. But so there's this veil. I mean, you can think about it however you want. You can think of it as a construct in your mind. You can think about it as a shower curtain. You can think of it as a veil, a fog. I don't care how you think about it. But there is something that separates humans and our little wonderful beehive of human activity and all that out there, including people who have crossed over. Okay. As the veil, and that something is thinning, that something is dissipating. They want to say it's dissipating. How nice for us, right? How nice for us. Now we've got a whole nother thing to worry about. So, and I'm not saying that tomorrow, everybody that's crossed over on the other side is going to show up in your living room fully clothed and in a human form. I am not saying that. That was fun. That was funny. That was haha humor, go, like a joke. But it does mean that we're going to have more access to them. Okay. And they're going to have more access to us. Okay. And what that means is we get into you need to have really clear intentions. If you just get the Ouija board out and you're like, "Who's here?" Well, you might get Grandpa, but you might also get, Ed the slasher, slasher. I'm trying to get their words. It came out slacker. Ed the slacker is actually hilarious. What are we doing? So anyway, no, you could get Ed the slacker or you could get Ed the slasher. I would maintain neither one of those are things that you probably want to call up from the other side. You really want to call up an angel or an angelic energy or a light being. Just because they're unemployed doesn't mean you need to hire them. You need to look at their CV, look at their resume. You need to have discernment because there are tricksters out there who just like to have fun with humans. It's kind of like a cat having fun with a mouse. That's it right there. So when you ask for help, I want you to get in the habit of first, perhaps, having some good spiritual hygiene. Good spiritual hygiene is every day you take 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, and you just center your energy. And anybody can do this, and you can do it any way. You can say prayers, you can light a candle, you can bang a pot, you can bang a gong. I don't care. If someone tells you you have to do it a specific way, I wouldn't necessarily pay attention to them because humans, 98% free will. We can do things any way we want as long as our intention is the same. Perhaps when you walk the dog, that's when you connect with the divine. Perhaps when you take a shower, that's when you connect with the divine. Perhaps when you go to bed, you say a prayer, you meditate. That can be when you're connecting with the divine. All I'm saying is if you get in the habit every day of taking 30 seconds and connecting with the divine, it's going to make your life a lot easier because you're creating this spiritual energy around you that is full of only energies that want the best for you. Okay? It's like a spiritual muscle. If you're spiritually flabby, it's like sleeping with your windows and doors all open. At some point, somebody's going to be like, "Hey, that's easy. Let's go in there and see if they got a TV, or let's go in there and see what they got." Don't make it easy. Okay? Don't make it easy on people. These are all the lesson is the same with the bully. The lesson is the same with, here are these people, you're trying to get their love, you're trying to get their attention, you're trying to get them to understand that you're a good person and that you're worthy, but they don't give you the time of day. Yet over here, there's all these people who are like, "Hey, how you doing?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm fine." And you're kind of like half listening to them because you're not really into them. Are you not into the nice people in your life? Are you really only into the mean people in your life? Well, guess what? Doing spiritual work, 30 seconds a day, a minute a day, however long you want to do it, will recalibrate your energy to the light. It'll calm you down. It'll make you a happier person. And it'll also allow you to have discernment. This is the most important thing. Discernment is the most important thing. As the veil thins, you need to be able to discern. Is this a trickster or is this an unemployed spirit guide that could really be cool and help me out? Is Am I discerning that this person really doesn't have my best interest at heart and they're really just malcontent or narcissist? Am I discerning that this person who always calls me on my birthday, but I never call them for anything, is maybe a really nice person? Somehow did I have some kind of toxic childhood where I've totally missed who's important and who's not, and I've decided that toxic people are who I feel most comfortable with, and good people are boring. You know, how many times do we date boring people? We don't. We don't date them. We're like, so boring. That person over there with all that trauma, now that's exciting. That's something I can get into. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you know what I mean? So this really is recalibrating. But the bottom line is this. If you take away nothing from this, if you're like, Susan, that was all confusing. If you take away nothing from this, I want you to take this away, which is be open and flexible to the guidance. Okay, so somebody just said, Susan, how do I know it's my spirit guide and not a trickster? That's a fair question. The trickster is not it. Yeah, right. So the spirit guides just said, do you know how hard it is to get someone to do something they don't want to do? A trickster is never going to do that. It's too much work. A trickster is going to get you to do something that society, your parents, or your trauma has decided you should do. So if your trauma says, I can't trust anybody, I don't want to leave this job because I'll never find another job, and then the trickster would trick you into staying at the job. The trickster would trick you into befriending the narcissist. Okay? You're not going to get tricked into becoming who is trying to become a dental hygienist. Please let me use another metaphor. You're not going to get tricked into becoming a dog groomer. They're full of it today, aren't they? Or tricked into going back to school. A trickster is not going to do that because it takes too much effort. What it takes to get a human on their soul contract or their soul path is immense amount of effort that sometimes takes an entire lifetime. It is not quick. No human says, "Oh, right, I want to do that thing that scares the living daylights out of me," or "I don't think I'm worthy enough to do," or "I don't think I have the skills or I'm not smart enough, or fill in the blank. No human is going to wake up overnight and just say, I just decided I am going to be a parachute instructor. Yeah, tomorrow. I'm going to do it. No, that's not the way it happens. So tricksters are going to go for low-hanging fruit. They're going to go for things that are dark. So they're going to be in your weakness. They're going to be in your exacerbating your fears. Okay? That's where the trickster energy would show up. Okay? And also, any place you give your power away. So if you start working with, so this is why it's more prevalent with helper guides, because if you start working with a helper guide and the helper guide says, or starts telling you that you're not worthy, or that you're stupid, or that, that's not a helper guide. That's not in the light. My guides joke with me. They they have humor with me because I like humor and I learn through humor. The only time I've ever had a spirit guide, or what I thought was a guide, or I was channeling a group of entities. Okay, and I'm just going to call them out right now because I think they are nefarious. And that is the Orion group, Orion. They are a group of what they would say that they're neutral. They would say they're neutral, but they're not neutral. They are neutral. They are neutral because they're not evil. They're not trying to they're not evil, but they're not of the light. They're tricksters. They're just having a little fun. They're not evil. So how that happened was they kept teaching me, they kept showing me a vision of a lesson they wanted me to learn, but then I realized the lesson was demeaning. And then I realized that they were tricksters. And then I fired them and they left because I have free will. Because I am powerful. Humans are powerful. We have to learn to grab our power right now. This is the lesson of our generation, or not even our generation, but our time here on earth, is humans must grab the power and not be duped. Giving away your power is being duped. Not learning to discern is giving away your power. So it's not about living in fear. It's not about, well, Susan, I don't want anything about this because I don't want to deal with tricksters and I don't want any of this. Nope, nope, not for me. Guess what? You already are. You can say you don't want to do it all you want, but you're living in it. That's like saying, I don't want to be on planet Earth. I'm not going to do it. Honey, you are on planet Earth. You are doing it. So you might as well step into your power and live your fullest, brightest, happiest life. Why not? Why not? Because if you crawl under your bed and hide, that's where the tricksters are. I mean, that's the darkness, the sadness, the depression. That's where you're more susceptible to more energies that are sad and lower energy. That's why they suggested every day do something to lift your energy up. Light a candle, say a prayer, chant, do a meditation, take a shower and imagine that the water is light, is universal God light, creator light, blessing you. If you don't think you're worthy enough to take a shower of light, then that's number one problem. That's the first thing, that's the first order of business they're saying. You are worthy. All humans are worthy. Even the dark ones have a soul light. And if they thought they were worthy of light, of love, they wouldn't be dark, right? But they don't think they're worthy. So that's why they're in this darkness. So the first order of business is we're all worthy. We're all worthy of love. We're all worthy of respect, of peace, of joy. We're all worthy. You are worthy. Grab a hold of that light and let yourself be blessed by it. Allow yourself to be worthy of being guided, of being loved. You can do this. It's for you. It's for anyone. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't mean you won't have down times or mishaps or accidents or grief or loss. It doesn't mean that. It does not mean that, because humans, this is a, this is a learning planet. We're not going to be boring on easy street all the time. But if you practice this, if you grab the light, if you bring the light into you and you say, I am worthy, I am love, I am loved, I am lovable. If you say those things, when that bad thing happens, or that whatever that thing that is not something you wanted to happen happens, yeah, grieve. Go through all the stages of grief, but you'll be more resilient. You'll come out of the grief faster and more whole. It's not going to knock you on your back where you can't get up. So doing this practice can actually make you more resilient in your life. And when you're more resilient in your life, you're leading by example. You're teaching others, not by telling them what to do, but they're going to say, "Hey, what are you doing? You just seem so calm, or you seem so happy. What are you doing?" And you're probably going to say, "I don't know. I'm not doing anything," because it seems like nothing. Just to spend 30 seconds or a minute or 2 minutes a day in the light. And then also to remember to ask for help from your spirit guides, from the unemployed spirit guides that you're going to have come on and help you. You're going to know immediately. If by some bizarre chance you get a trickster, you're going to know, because when you're doing the task, you're going to be like, this isn't right. That's the first thing. It's like, this doesn't make sense. Like people that use pendulums, all of a sudden it starts giving you the wrong answer. You say, "Is my name Susan?" It says no. Well, guess what? That's not somebody who knows you. They don't even know your name. Next, clear the space. Start over again. It's not about falling down or having a bad experience and then never getting back up on the horse again. Life is about continually being down and up and down and up and down and up. And yes, it's exhausting. But it's exhausting because we don't allow spirit to give us a hand up. When you work with spirit and you work with the light, you ask for a hand up and you get a hand up. You ask for help and you get help. Then you're more resilient. And then the knockdowns and stand-ups are easier and easier and easier and easier and easier. And then life is easier. Okay? Hopefully this has made sense. I'm going to end this video here. Please know that I have a whole playlist of spiritual videos called W.O.W. You click the logo, which is a swirly thing. You go to my main YouTube page. You go to playlist, click that. Go down to W.O.W, click that. There's 100 videos there. By the time you watch this video, there might be 120 or 150. Who knows how long they're going to keep me doing this, working my little video fingers to my spiritual fingers to the bone. I don't know what is in store for me right now. This is my soul path, and I really hope that it's helped you, that it's given you some solace, that it's given you some a few laughs and raised your vibration a little bit. Take really, really good care of yourselves. I'll see you again probably next Wednesday.